Okay, Sanhedrin, Perek.
Are you using it as a 360 camera or just regular?
Not now.
All right, Perek Vav, Mishnah Gimel. So we only did Mishnah Gimel yesterday, and we did the first half. We got into a detailed discussion exactly how we do the skila. Okay, we take him. Sorry, it's Mishnah Dal. Right? We take him from the building, we throw him off. The witnesses do it, and then they throw a stone. Everyone throws a stone. Okay, that's what basically the story. So the bottom line on page 12 it says as follows: Kol haniskolim nitalim. Niskolim means anyone who's been stoned. All people who were stoned, exactly who is stoned we'll see, right? One example is Avodah Zarah, guy who serves Avodah Zarah, Mechalot Shabbos. Those are the simple examples. Other examples we'll see. But anyone who is stoned, what happens to them? Nitalim are also hanged. Talui is to hang. The body is hanged, correct. The body is hanged. This comes from the Chumash. We don't have any Chumashim in the room? No. Right? We need a Chumash. Want to get a few? Good idea. Nitalim, bodies. Chumash is fine. Hanged. Now there is no hanging. There's no death by hanging. No, the strangulation, which is similar.
And throwing a
right?
or something.
This is no, that's good.
That's
first. And there's Sreifa, and there is hereg, which is decapitation. Hereg is strangulation. Strangulation, decapitation, burning, and stone.
How does strangulation work? Do they just kind of...
We'll see. Be patient. We're going to get there. Right? Exam, Perek. That's what the rest of the Sanhedrin is all about. Very kind of different death sentences. Okay?
Nice.
You
want some?
Okay, thank you very much.
Great. Hanging is only done after. Hanging is only done after. So let's see this in the Chumash. It says in Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 23. You know what Deuteronomy is? Deuteronomy 20, that's it. 21, 23. It says as follows.
Oh, what page?
Page 1049.
Oh, literally at the Palmer's book.
1049.
99 pages off.
Verse 22. Are you with me? 1049. If a man shall have committed a sin whose judgment is death, he shall be put to death, and you shall hang him on a gallows. So the Torah says explicitly that after you put him to death, you then put him on the gallows. His body shall not remain for the night on the gallows. That means when it comes to nightfall, you must take him down. Rather, you shall surely bury him on that day. For a hanging person is a curse of God. You shall not contaminate your land, which Hashem your God gives you as an inheritance. So, somehow or other, leaving his body hanging more than necessary. So the Torah got this balance. It wants you to hang him, for what reason? Presumably to make a display of this person, that not only people who witness the death should be have their sensitivities to this sin rectified, but also the people who see it later on. But there seems to be some negative aspect of the body hanging, not exactly clear what that is, and therefore that would contaminate your land.
I think you referenced this when you were talking about King Shaul, how his body was.
Right? You shall not contaminate your land, which Hashem your God gives you as an inheritance. So allowing his body to hang overnight would contaminate the land. Exactly how isn't so clear. So here's what it says. Okay? For it says in the Apostle, for hanging a person is a curse of God. That's what's been translated in the English. Not literally. You could read the Hebrew like that. Hello, changing the guards. Marty left and Baruch came.
It took me 2.5 seconds.
So what does it mean? How is hanging a person, a dead body, which is being killed because it was over and above Zara? That's great. That makes it less personal.
Stoning to hanging, I love it.
Less personal. Nobody here in this room is over and above Zara.
My day is complete.
Okay. So we killed him, stoned him, and now we hanged him. Why is that a curse of God? The Apostle says, Kilalas Hashem Talui. Kilalas Elokim Talui. So Rashi explains that it's a bit of a Chilul Hashem. That means there's a very delicate balance. Talking about a person sinning has a negative aspect as well, because it brings it to people's attention. Oh, really? So and so was Machal Shabbos.
It normalized it.
Right, in a sense. It, on the one side, it may readdress the imbalance created by the person being Machal Shabbos, but people say, oh, it's okay to Machal Shabbos, he did it, he got away with it, right? So we want to show people how scary it is and how awful it is. On the other hand, if people are talking about it the whole time, it becomes something which is...
Yeah, my bad.
It becomes like it loses its...
It happens.
Like when you see murders the whole time. Right, you watch TV the whole time. You watch one murder after another. The murder becomes okay. Desensitizes. So it seems that although you're not actually watching the murder, but talking about it the whole time, and therefore that's why we don't want to have this guy hanging for too long. We don't want to become so much part of people's
Daily
talk.
life.
Okay, so that's why the Torah says that means it's a curse of God, the person being left hanging. That's one version. Others have a slightly different version of how to understand it. Pasuk 22, page 1049. Others say that when it says a curse of God, it means the person hanging there cursed God. It means this story is not talking about anybody who was killed. It's talking about a person who cursed God, which is a crime that you get stoned for. Okay?
That's why you can't say the quote. Yeah.
Well, you're not allowed to curse. No, it's very right. There was a story in the Chumash about a guy who blasphemed, which means to curse God, and he was stoned for it. Okay? So now, from that we understand that when it says over here, if a man shall have committed a sin whose judgment is death, it doesn't mean any person who's killed. No. It means only a person who is stoned. How do we see a person who's stoned from here? Because it says, because the person hanging here has cursed God. Now, person who cursed God gets stoned. So, if it meant only a person who curses God, it would say, if a person curses God and is killed, he shall be hanged. It doesn't say that. It says, if a person has committed a sin. So there's a dilemma over here. There's a contradiction. It starts off saying, implying anybody who did a sin that gets a death sentence gets hanged. But then it continues, implying this guy cursed God. So there's two ways to answer this. One is, it means anybody who did a sin similar to cursing God. What's a similar mean? It has the same death sentence, which is stoning. That's the first way to read our Mishnah. It says our Mishnah, Kol hanitalim, anyone who gets stoned, nitalim is hanged. That's the opinion of Rabbi Leader. That's Rabbi Leader's opinion, that the answer to this contradiction is that everybody who's been killed, or just a person who killed God, means anyone who did the sin similar to, gets the same death sentence, that's enough. Chachamim, they disagree. They say, hey, Nisla, the only people who are hanged are Megadef, a person who is blasphemed, the Ha'oived, Avodah Zarah, a person who serves Avodah Zarah. He's also hanged. Because when the Torah talks about serving Avodah Zarah, it uses the same word as blasphemy. Even though blasphemy technically is not exactly the same. Blasphemy means to curse God, right? But the Torah uses that word in describing how awful Avodah Zarah is. It says, he is blaspheming God by his actions. And therefore, it's viewed as being the same. And that's what the Torah means. When it says a guy who is killed, put to death by the judgment, he shall be hanged, it means whether he committed an Avodah Zarah or he blasphemed, he gets. And that's the halacha. So Rabbi Leader's opinion is it's more wide. Anybody who gets stoned, and the Chachamim hold is only a person who blasphemes or Avodah Zarah. Now, says the Mishnah, Ha'ish, a man, Tolin I say he's hanged, Panav, with his face, Klapei Ha'am, facing the people. Okay, so let's say imagine that this is the wall, okay, and this is the gallows, right? So the gallows is a stick with a thing that comes out, then he's hanged, but his body is made to face the crowd. The Isha, if the woman is being hanged after being stoned, but now Klapi Ha'etz, her face is facing the wood, meaning the pole which the gallows is hanging from.
Why is that?
I suppose out of consideration for her. It's less sanua, and it's less It's more embarrassing for a woman to know that when her dead body will be hanged for everyone to view. Right, so just like we talked about yesterday.
Why face?
No, because everyone can see who it is.
And the man, everybody can see who it is also.
No, that's the point. But the woman, women are more easily embarrassed than men are. Women are more naturally embarrassed. That's why.
I don't get this whole concept of shame after death. Why would this person care to be ashamed after death?
You don't care, but there are people who do.
No, how do you know he doesn't? You don't care because you're not having facing the situation yet.
Yeah.
I'm saying, if you're not going to be in your body anymore, so it's coming in like a weird question, then why would you be ashamed?
Mayor, would it bother you if you knew the Sanhedrin were about to kill you, right? To know that after your death, your body is going to be
Or used?
No,
mutilated.
someone's going to know that it was your body.
No, it's going to look awful. So
Wait,
it
I
may
have
make a difference to
another
you.
question. Is there a reason to be ashamed post-death about something about your body?
It could be for the family that
No,
was
right?
raised or something.
Because it's not you anymore. Like,
It's a little weird. Like I prefer if you don't do that, but like it doesn't bother me that much.
It doesn't bother you,
The
but it
entire
doesn't.
shame is the fact that this person is getting hung.
But you can see why a woman who is
Post-death,
more.
we're concerned about.
Wait.
No, but that being hanged is nothing you can do about. That's what we're doing. That's not open to.
Yeah, but during
Hanging to
it,
shame him? I thought we hanging
No,
to
just say we're
shame
hanging to
him.
shame him. He's saying he's getting shamed. But that doesn't mean anything. That's what we have to
Wait.
do. The question is, does it
No, we're saying-
add
we're
at all does it add to any nuance of anguish to know that when you will be dead, your body will be splattered over the floor?
A little bit.
See?
okay, so the difference we're making is that there's a man and a woman. If there's a man being hung and a woman being hung, when the man is being hung, his face could face the crowd. When the woman's being hung, her face faces the tree. Why? Because a woman is easier to get embarrassed. That's why they face the tree, so they shouldn't be embarrassed afterward. That after they die, people are going to know who she was. So I don't understand that whole. First of all, why there's a difference, and second of all, why it should matter.
Because they
Post-death.
already announced who it is.
People are going to announce who the guy is also.
That's what I mean. They're going to announce who
Shane
it
is trying to explain your cash in a different way. He's saying they've announced it. Is in any case already she knows. Right, we're talking about people who not everyone was there at the announcement. People who watched walking past and seeing. Right.
If you're talking about you want to cover the body, that's one thing, but the face, I don't understand.
Well, the face, you identify someone when you see the face.
Everybody knows that.
But you can hear Joe Schmo, but you don't know if that's your Joe Schmo.
Divrei Rabbi Leader, v'chachamim omrim. Chachamim disagree with the whole idea. Ha'ish nisle, a man is hanged. Ve'ein ha'ish nisle, we don't hang women.
That makes sense.
Oh, at all?
No, it means she's been killed by the beast, right?
It's different.
But we
than
don't
what
hang the
had
body
with
at all.
That's
It's
different than
skila.
skila.
No.
But the skila, when they made a difference between the Rabbanan and not, we said no, depending on what gets covered. But here we're not saying there's a difference in what.
Yeah, we're
gets
saying
covered.
you don't hang at all. And they learn it from this pasuk, because the whole pasuk talks about hanging. It says,
Then
it says,
he will be hanged.
Ki yiyeh be'ish
And
chet
man.
mishpat moves. So why do they say be'ish? Why does it have to be be'ish? You say ki yiyeh chet mishpat moves. Well, Adam, ish. So they learn from the ish that a woman isn't hanged. But Rabbi Leader says you do hang her, you just hang in the opposite direction. Okay. Amar hen Rabbi Leader. Let's ask the question. Behaloi Shimon ben Shetach tola noshim ba'Ashkelon. Behold, Shimon ben Shetach, he hung women in Ashkelon. And that's undisputed historical fact. Right? We don't argue with stories. If the story happened, it happened. And Shimon ben Shetach was the head of the Sanhedrin, who lived many hundreds of years before this Mishnah was written. And it's common in Jewish law to accept precedent as being real, especially if these people were more learned than you, more closer to the source of tradition, and therefore Shimon Shetach did something. You technically you could disagree and say, yeah, I disagree with you, I disagree with Shimon Shetach, right? You could say that, but that's the last resort. Generally, we don't do that. We don't argue with the set of the Sanhedrin, even you're very, very great, unless you actually claim to be greater than him. So, if Shimon Shetach did this, then that seems to be correct. So how can you challenge? You say we don't hang women. He did. So obviously he had this was right. So where are you coming from? Okay. Amrulai, they said to him, sorry, he said this to them. Rabbi Leader said, how can you say we don't hang women? You see, you shouldn't have said don't hang women. Amrulai, they said back to Rabbi Leader, that doesn't prove anything. Why? Shmainim nashim tala. He hung 80 women. 80 women.
Those
Rega.
Witches.
Ve'ein danim shnayim b'yom echad. They're not allowed to judge two people on the same day. And he did. He judged 8 women. That's what it means. He judged 8 women. The number is not important. In fact, he did them all on the same day. He did 8 women on the same day. But you're not allowed to judge more than 2 people. That means one based din are not allowed to judge 2 people of the same crime on one day. That's a rule. So how can he do it? So in any case, what you're knowing what he did was
exceptional circumstance.
it must be there's something exceptional about it because he violated Allah in any case by killing more. The reason was he was trying to make a point because there was a witch hunt, right? The country was a what's the word? Not a plague, a better word. What?
Was bewitched.
Yes, there was a no.
A plague?
No,
Witch hunt?
yes, but it's a better word.
A coven of witches?
What? No.
Outbreak of witches?
Outbreak was better
I'm
word.
not sure which alley you're going down, so I don't
No,
know.
I'm looking at an outbreak. There was
A lot of witches.
Uprising.
No.
Quarantine.
It's a word like you say when you have a plague which spreads.
Outbreak?
Pandemic.
A what?
Pandemic.
Epidemic.
Epidemic.
Epidemic is the right word, right? Of witches.
What's the difference between an epidemic and a pandemic?
Pandemic is across the world.
An
Like
epi-
just mean big. And epidemic is Jerusalem. Epidemic of flu, right? Pandemic is when it's across, like
Well-
Pan America.
Well, technically was a pandemic because there were witches that were all over the world at that point. And we were only attacking them here, so.
But he wasn't worried about anywhere else.
That's fair.
Right? He wasn't about it. So that for he wanted to do something about it. So he made the point to scare the living daylights out of them, and therefore that's why he violated the rules. And that's okay. Like we talked yesterday, sometimes the Sanhedrin takes the law into its own hands, what we call martial law, and they're allowed to do that. So they were just like that didn't apply. So just like he killed more than 2 people on the same day, he could also hang women. So that doesn't prove that you're allowed to hang women normally. There's an exceptional rule, exception to the rule. Okay? All right. Let's continue. Kate said to him, how exactly do you do the hanging? Mishakin es hakoira ba'aretz. We take the beam and we stick it into the ground. We don't do it from a tree. That's very important. Right? We take a beam, we'll see in a second why. We take a beam and we stick it into the ground. The eight and a piece of wood, yotzim mimenu, comes out of it. Umakif shtei yodav zu al gavzu. We take his 2 hands and we put them next to each other. Here the word lahakif means to be next to each other. Often the word lahakif means like hakafot, to go round, but not always. It's round in a different sense. It's like roundabout. It's nearby. It means you put them next to each other. Often you find the word lahakif means to put next to each other. There's halacha ein torim ela min hamukaf. When you want to take truma, you have to take it when one thing's next to each other, round it, right? But that's still next to it. Okay? So it means you take the 2 hands, you put them next to each other, and then what? Zu al gavzu, one on top of the other. But Toila also, and that's how you hang it. You're not hanging from his neck, right? Don't hang from his feet. You take his 2 hands, and you tie the hands round with a thing to the beam, which comes out of the standing beam.
So hanging by his hands?
Hanging by his hands, correct. I think that's what it's saying. You're hanging by his hands. This guy's dead. We're not killing him. This guy's dead. He's been stoned already. He's dead. All we're doing is putting him on display, right? Okay? You want everyone to see who was killed by Beis Din and whatever. Okay? So we're hanging him.
But if it's a woman, you don't see it.
Correct. According to the Chacham, we don't hang. Correct.
So we still have the display, but without the.
No, she's not on display. She'll get buried straight away. Take a body and bury it. This guy's hanging until the end of the day.
Yeah, but that's only for the Chacham.
Correct. Okay. According to the Rebbe, so you do hang a woman, but you have it the other way around. So we take the beam, put it in the ground, a piece of wood sticking out, we take his 2 hands and hang it. Rabbi Yossi Omer, he disagrees. He says, we've got the same gallows, but the kaira, muta ala kos, the beam isn't in the ground, it's leaning on a wall. So if you can give this bottle a second here, right? According to Rabbi Yossi, this is the wall. Right? So according to us, it could be had a wall in it, but we had the gallows like this, stick like this, body like that. According to him, we have it like this.
Where are you hanging?
Just a minute. That's the problem. We have the gallows like this. It's not in the ground. It's just a plank of wood. It's not in the ground. It's leaning like this. Now, then the problem is that if you would have the stick out here and he's lying, he's not actually hanging because his body will then
Lay on top of it.
lie on top of the thing. So what he says, instead you hang him from here.
Why will the body?
Because his body will then be, right? Will be hanging like this. Right? His body will hit like that.
Oh, yeah.
His body's straight. Body goes straight down. So that's not really hanging. Hanging means hanging in the air. So the way to hang him in the air is to hang him from here, from this side. Okay? That way.
How does the beam? Sorry, go ahead.
Okay?
How does the beam stay?
Well, it's because the wall. You have this leaning on the wall, and then his body.
What if the beam moves?
No, you don't let it move. It's a big beam, a heavy beam, right? You know, it's got a bottle of 7-Up, right? And he's hanging from here.
And then the crowd's here.
I don't know where the crowds are. The crowd will be all around. Remember the ones, right? So you have your right. Well, wait a second. We haven't explained why you're doing this, right? Okay, that's what you do. That's what Rabbi Yosef's opinion. Let's read it inside. Rabbi Yosef, I know.
So everyone has to walk under it.
No. Slowly.
Want some?
Let's read it for you. Rabbi Yossi Aimer. Hakoira, the beam, muta ala koisel, is leaning on the wall. The toile oisai, so you hang him kederach sha'atabokim oisai, like butchers hang. Meaning, in order you've got access from all sides. It means a butcher hangs an animal, he wants to strip it of its hide, he wants to be able to get from this side and that side. You have air on all sides. So the point is, if you're hanging, if the beam is leaning like this and the body's here, right? So then the beam is now in the way of this side. If you do it on this side, it's got air on all sides. You've got access to
plank.
it.
It's not in the middle of anything.
What?
If this is your beam and you just stick it out all the way here,
But we're not doing it straight. We're doing it leaning.
well, how does that?
I didn't.
Say,
I
how does
haven't
it
discussed
make-
why you're doing it leaning. I'm not answering. Paige, I thought
He's
Paige-
answering you.
He's not answering that. No. He's not answering why you do it leaning. He's saying once you do it leaning, now you have to tie the body different. Why do you have to tie the body different? Because if you tie the body like this, it won't be accessible. But once it's why is it leaning? I'll talk about it in a second. But once it's leaning, the body has to be hanging like a butcher would hang it to get access. Why is it leaning? So the Mepharshim explain like this. The rule is, first of all, we're going to bury this body. We learn from the Apostle that we also bury the gallows. Okay? The logic of burying the gallows is, just like we don't want people to be conversing about, oh, here's the body of the guy who was killed because he was served by the Zara, because that's making too much of an issue. We also don't want anyone to say, oh, that plank of wood, you know this plank of wood I have in my house, that comes from the gallows. So no, we don't want it to be an issue. We want it to be buried and then forgotten about.
At the
And no one,
Suda.
right.
You know that
And no one, what they call it, a conversation.
poster.
Right. We don't want anyone to talk about it, so it has to be buried as well. Okay.
Small talk about.
That's point number one. Point number one is the gallows has to be buried. Point number two is we learn from the apostle that nothing should be done in between the hanging and the burying. Means no activity, real activity, is done in between the hanging and the burying. Which means if you would hang him from a tree, you would first have to uproot the tree before you could bury it. Okay? And that, the Torah says, that
You don't want because
we don't want. You have to, I don't know why, there isn't a why, right? But it goes straight from one to the other without anything in between. It says, well, Sarisa Oisala H, you hang him on the wood, right? And then you bury him. Implying there's nothing in between. Chopping down a tree would be an activity in between. Fine. So therefore that's why they say you don't hang him from a tree, though theoretically you could, right? But then, because then the gallows you have to chop it down. So that's why we take a plank of wood and we put it in the ground. The other says you can't do that because uprooting the wood would also be considered an activity done in between. And therefore that's why instead of putting the wood in the ground, so how you keep the wood standing up, the way you do it is by leaning on the wall. Because that way the wood isn't implanted in the ground. What you can do, just like you bury him, you take the wood and bury the wood without having to do anything in between. Yes.
We're burying the gallows. People don't point at it and say that's where he was hung. When people just point at the wall, then that's where the plank was put up, where he was hung.
No, the wall was always been there. It's just a regular wall. It's no different than the wall that people play football on. Whatever. Okay. What's the problem?
That's a good question.
What? No, it's not a It's not a wall that was used. It's got a million other uses. This wall. No. This is the gallows.
Yeah, but you're adding something that brings significance to this location.
This is
All right,
the
that's what we
area
do.
where he was buried, maybe.
Okay.
But that was the wall.
Well, yes, but it's not the same significance as the gallows. It's the wall that the gallows was leaning on. This is the floor that the wall was leaning on. This, that's he's saying. You can go and end the double set.
This is the air the guy was breathing before he was killed.
Umatirim oisai miyad. We untie him immediately.
How long was he hanging for?
Oh, that's a good question. Technically, the Torah says he mustn't be there till after sunset. When it comes to sunset, you must take him down, right? But to avoid the what's the word?
Forgetting him?
To avoid the pain or the discomfort or the embarrassment. No.
Pain.
No. Well, I don't know the right word to use. To avoid the
I mean, pain. He's dead.
No. That's what, again, you don't care about pain after death. Right? Most people don't like. Why did Stalin want a statue of himself after death? Because people like the idea that after they're dead, things will be good. So he doesn't like the idea that he's hanging there.
He'll be remembered forever.
No, and that's not the point. I'm not talking about that. We've said. One second. Listen carefully.
The desecration.
The Torah is the desecration of the body that he's hanging there, and everyone's seeing this and saying, this is so and so has been. Make a big fuss out of it. The Torah doesn't say, but the Torah says you have to do it. Right? So we're trying to accommodate this person as much as possible. So we hang him, but how long are we hanging him for? Well, till the end of the day. So you know what we'll do? We'll hang him 5 minutes before Shkia. If we hang him
This is right after
we did Skila.
Skill
Right?
right.
We did Skila at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
So you
Right?
could wait
You do it
until
Well, it doesn't say you have to hang him straight away. No. What it says is you hang him and then you leave him till sunset.
You don't want to bring in the embarrassment. You should do it right, like hang him, do the skila 10 minutes before. And
Like,
then-
maybe
You
do
can't
that. I don't know.
You have to kill him right away when you have the din. No? Can't wait between the din to this. You have to go quickly to kill him.
Yeah, okay, all right. It can't be the next day. But I don't know how quickly it has to be. Maybe all right. Well, that's what we do. We hang him just before sunset, and then when it comes, that's what it means in the Mishnah. Or Matino, so we untie him straight away. But technically, you don't have to untie him straight away. But that's what we do. Okay. The imlon, if you left him overnight, yeah, over Allah of then you've transgressed a negative commandment. Because the Torah says, "Shenema loy tolin niblasar eis." You mustn't leave his body on the tree or on the gallows overnight. Ki, however, what should you do instead? Kavotik berenu, you must surely bury him. Ki kiras him taloi, because this is a man who cursed God, or this is a disgrace to God. I'm hanging the different ways. Now the Mishnah gives both reasons.
when it says Moisol Nevosel, how do you know that means overnight?
Because that's what talim means. The word talim, when Yaakov
But how do
Avinu,
you know that means overnight?
because Rashi says, when Yaakov Avinu comes to Rivka and says, do you have a place for us to stay? Right? She says, Yesh lachem olam lalun. Lalun, that's what it means. Right? It means to stay overnight.
overnight.
Yeah. Doesn't just mean to stay, it means to stay overnight.
It's so, okay, yeah.
Right? A malon. What's a malon? It's a hotel. A place where you stay overnight. Talmud, what does this possible mean? The Mishnah explains what the possible means. Mipnei ma zeh talui. Why is this guy hanging? Because he cursed God, which is the primary reason why we hang after skila. Not everyone who gets skila gets hanged. The Mishnah just told us, according to the Chachamim, it's only a person who does avodah zarah or a person who blasphemes. That's what means ki kilas elikim talui, because the guy who blasphemed God is hanging. V'nimtza, but another meaning is shem shamayim mischalel. It's a disgrace to God's name to have him hanging there, because then it becomes a public a subject of discussion, and therefore that's why we leave him as little as time as possible, but not longer than that. Okay.
Someone who causes other people to live with us, are we hang him too?
Maces. I don't know if he gets skila even. I don't know what the maces gets.
Pretty sure. I think I read this.
Maces gets skila. Okay. So I want to tell you an interesting story that I read. I read this story, I think I read the story in a sefer called Sefer HaTalui. Sefer HaTalui is a very ancient book, written, Rashi quotes it somewhere, Rashi Avodah Zarah I think quotes it. It's a book about the Jewish tradition of the death of Yoshki.
Isn't that Told Yeshu?
What?
Told Yeshu, Rashi quotes.
The book's called Sefer HaTalui. Maybe it's another name for the same book. Right? And one of the rabbis in Yeshiva had this book in his office. And the story says there, this is what I remember, I think I read it there, that when Yoshki was killed by the Sanhedrin, it was done on Erev Pesach. Why was it done on Erev Pesach? Because that's the time when you have the most crowd. Right? All Jews come to Yerushalayim for Pesach. Everybody, men, women, children, everyone's there, and everyone will see it. Okay? Now, because there is a mitzvah to hang the person who's to kill Beskila, a guy who's Avodah Zarah, so they killed him, and then they hang his body. When did they hang it? Just before sunset. They took his bodies down. It was too late to bury him because it was too late. It was Shkia. It was ready Yom Tov. It was Erev Yom Tov, so it was ready Yom Tov. They couldn't bury him. So the tradition has it that some old woman was going past there, and she had Rahmanas on him. His body was lying there unburied, and she buried him. And then people came back the next day, he wasn't there. So what happened to him? What did they assume? They assumed he got up and left. Right? And that's the origin of the resurrection of Christ from that story. And he wasn't there anymore when they woke up in the morning. But the truth is, he was actually buried. I suppose he was buried under the place where I don't know, she slept into some graveyard. She buried him underneath this spot.
How did they know the story?
Oh, how did they know the real story? Oh, I don't know. I suppose she admitted to it, I guess. I don't know.
Rashi seems to be the only person who
Brings what?
that book.
What I called it?
No,
Or you called it?
No, just the book in general. She's the earliest person who brings the book. That's a while after it happened.
I'm not sure what your observation is.
No one else cites the book.
Therefore,
not everyone agrees it's a book that's the correct way it happened.
I'm not suggesting it was correct, but it's a book. It's a story. I still don't get your observation. Obviously, everything that Rashi quotes may not be true.
It's not. What is that? It's not commonly seen as a reliable book.
Why? Because Rashi, nobody quoted before Rashi?
No, because it's just.
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was only written 20 years before Rashi lived.
From who?
Someone who heard it from his father. I understand it. Stories are assumed to be not true if they weren't written down at the time.
It's not the point. The point is it just isn't assumed to be true.
By who?
By most people.
Who are people? Some professor, university professor.
No, by Ravs as well.
Who? Like who doesn't trust this book?
I've spoken to Ravs and they said that.
But the Ravs know better than Rashi. Rav knows better than Rashi. I don't understand.
Not necessarily.
So
Like
who?
the
What's
Rav said 2 seconds ago, Rashi can't make a mistake. Same thing.
I know, but why should I think that he did? That's not understand.
This
Yeah, he can.
The book itself is just a weird, very weird book. Inside the book, it's a lot of things that just don't make sense. They're just weird stuff inside. It's just a very weird book.
Really?
Yeah.
It's good enough for Rashi. It's good enough for me. Rashi.
And he says, in the same book, he says that Peter and Paul were tzaddikim.
No, so what?
No, I'm just saying.
That's a big deal.
He has his approach is the only approach that ever says that.
But there's nobody else writes about it.
Why not? Why would no one else write
No,
about it?
nobody else writes about it at all.
Nobody writes about it after either.
Nobody else. What do you mean? Because Rashi already wrote it. Why does anyone have to
So
say
what?
it's a book? Why do we need more than
Nobody
one book?
writes the same thing as someone else?
Why does anyone have to write it? It's already written. It's already
So
book about
nobody-
it. One
nobody's
second.
read
The
anything since
story,
already.
the story of Ezra is only written in one place in the whole of Tanakh. Nobody wrote about
That's
it.
in Tanakh, no.
So what?
There's in the Farshim don't repeat themselves ever.
Why did anyone say that? Why does anyone need? It's a book. It's already been written about. Anyone who wants to read the story can read it in the book. There's no need to comment. I don't know why you talk about this. It's just meaningless. You have riots and it's not true. You have kashes on the book. It's not quoted by anybody else. It's Mahesh. Everyone had it. You don't have to quote it. Show me somewhere where someone should quote it and he didn't quote it. An opportunity.
Anywhere else, any other commentary on that section of Avodah Zarah should bring the book. Why not? The whole discussion is about him being hung. The whole sugya of Avodah Zarah discusses him It says who was his father, and it says that he was hung, and it says
No.
how that he was stolen and hung.
Rashi
and this and
doesn't
that.
quote the book in that
Yeah,
context.
of course he does.
He doesn't.
Quotes in Avodah Zarah.
But not in that context. He's talking about something else, talking about Peter and
What
Paul.
else does he tell? They're also discussed. Where are they discussed?
Yeah. The Gemara in Avodah talks about that they made their own religion up and they made their own language. And Rashi says, who? Peter and Paul, like it says in Sefer Taloi. I mean, the fact that there was this book is Rashi knows you have this book. Every Jew had this book in their library. Rashi doesn't even need to tell you. You want to find it, you want to know about this Gemara, right? Rashi quotes Josephus, right? Why does Rashi do that? Because it elaborates on it. It makes a certain point in the Gemara clearer. So that means that why doesn't everybody else in that Sukkah quote Josephus? Oh, they didn't believe in it. No, because Rashi told you, sent you there already. There's no more to it than that. Guy's no better than Rashi.
That's what I'm saying. So of course it's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the book itself is a very weird book, not a commonly accepted book.
Anyways, but
It's not necessarily true.
yeah, it's true. I agree with that. It's not necessarily true, but therefore what?
I think it's
Josephus
probable
isn't
that it's not-
necessarily true.
I think it's probable. That
It's probably
That's-
now you're already saying something
It's
else.
not been-
Why is it probably not true? It's just somebody sat down and made up a book. It's like Harry Potter. It's completely not true.
People don't-
Complete
people don't
fabric.
lie.
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying so. You're saying the Rashi didn't come. Rashi thought it's worthwhile quoting from a book that you considered probably not true. Are you? Based on what? Why
I
do
don't
you
think
think
there's an issue with that.
Why
Why is there an issue with me saying that?
Because why should Rashi do
Rashi
that?
can't make a mistake.
Why should you accuse? What's your evidence?
not
that-
accusing
Yes,
Rashi.
that's exactly what you do.
not
Why
true.
should you suggest that Rashi's making a mistake? I think that Rashi can't make a mistake. What's your evidence of suggesting he's making a mistake?
Like I said, it's probable.
Why? What? I asked you, what's your evidence that it's probable he's making a mistake? Based on what? Because some rabbi said that. What's everybody
Some
talking about?
rabbis, academics. The story itself is just a
Academics say
ridiculous
lots of
story.
things. Academics say lots of things about they don't believe in the Torah. So what? It's shiur. They don't know what they're talking about.
It's when the rabbi gets home, I think it's worthwhile to look. So,
No, they said that all that information in the book is caches on other books. What I said, you believe this?
necessarily.
It's necessarily. I'm saying I'm coming with a premise. The Rashi says something. It's emes lamita. That's my premise.
Okay.
Until you can have reason for me to doubt that, that's the right way to go.
I'm saying.
Well, I ain't many reason to doubt it.
Okay. I think there should be. And I think there are. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Woo!
It's okay, Baruch. We've had lots of fights before me and Matt. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We're
No, I
friends.
love it.
He comes
I
back.
was- I was-
Why do you think he comes back?
Oh, I
I
miss
love
it.
it. I love it.
So it's the best.
Why did you come back? Anyway, today.
Okay, we
Come with
finished
the gun?
it. Yeah, he's sick. Where's the second? And then I saw the road from all the way down there, and I was like,
So we're the second option. And
Yeah, it used to be the first option. It was so good.
I think May is probably the reason why we continue to do Daniel, no? No, why we started doing Midas and instead of starting period.
Yeah, you're gonna do other things. I think Midos is better. Now I can actually like understand what I'm talking about. Basically,
Yeah.
see it like that.
Okay, good night, Baruch. Are you feeling better?
getting there,
Yes. Good. Oh, shit.
Well, he's getting sick of.
Is this being turned off? He was supposed to take it to his room now.
Oh, whose is that?
Dylan's.
I don't know if you should do that. That's not a.
I don't know how to turn it off. Oh, it's hot.
I thought that was yours.
Screen.